and life gets just a little bit better in only 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6.
LoveLine is meant for an adult audience. LoveLine may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised.
Adam Carolla, Dr. Drew.
I'm not modeling anymore for the two of you.
LoveLine.
Yep, it is LoveLine. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew over there. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. Dr. Drew is a board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist. And Ann, is Sophia Coppola coming in tomorrow night, or is that up in the air? Yeah?
There we go.
There we go. All right, Dr. Drew's mic is on, and we'll find out about that tomorrow or sometime tonight. But let's get to the business at hand. Stone Temple Pilots are our guests tonight. Robert DeLeo is in here. Scott Weiland will be in here in just a few minutes. He's attending the Laker game, which should be wrapping up about now. So,
what's going on out there, Lakers? You're not watching, yeah.
It's good.
I think they were up a point.
Whatever.
Good radio.
2 points.
Yeah, listen, I'm hoping they don't win just to make it an interesting series. I mean, you know, my mom and grandma, you never talk to women about basketball, older women, and
Right.
they go, well, it's just not fair. They put a big fella right there under the basket. They toss him the ball, and he drops it into the hoop. And you think to yourself, oh, Jesus, Grant, you don't understand. There's elbows flying. There's hips flying. There's other big guys muscling him out of position. There's 3 seconds in the key. There's picks and give and goes and all that kind of stuff. But now when I see Shaq and I see the Lakers, and I see him playing a lot of their teams, I'm starting to hear my grandma's voice in my head. They put a big fella in there, they toss him the ball, and either they foul him or he makes the basket hoop.
Absolutely.
You know, they do like redundant talk,
Yes.
old people. They make the touchdown score. So I'm starting to think that way with the Lakers, and even though I was born and bred in Los Angeles and I'm a Lakers fan, I'd like to see an interesting series. So I wouldn't mind if they lost tonight. But let's talk about the Stone Temple Pilots. The CD is 4. We're going to hear something off of that. And where are you guys heading? And because I know you got a tour starting. I think it's on my birthday, as a matter of fact.
Oh.
Is that May 27th in Boston?
Actually, we start May 20th.
Oh, wait a minute. It's not my
Which is
birthday.
next week.
Well, I'll have you know,
hold on.
I've been looking for a hot shaving dispenser for a week now.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Well, keep looking, buddy.
And if the thing to release gel, forget it.
Oh, really?
You're not getting that one.
I can't fit my edge cans
There ain't
into
no
that
such
heater.
thing.
All right. Well, enough about my birthday. The tour starts the 20th, and I'm looking at the dates here. This is going to be you're going to have your work cut out for you.
Absolutely. It's about time. It's been a while.
You looking forward to it?
I'm looking forward to it. And Scott is in, I wish he was here to tell you himself.
Well,
he's
he will
in
be.
very good health right now.
That's good. Now, how long has he been out of the pokey?
Oh, boy. I'm looking at my manager right now.
6 months, 8 months.
About 6 months. 5, 6 months.
And
Yeah.
he was in for about 5, 6?
Yeah, he was in there about 5, 6.
And, I mean, well, tell me what you think about it. I had a friend going to prison for about 5, 6 months for drugs. And now, looking back on it, was probably the best thing that happened to him.
Yeah, it seems to be working. I think hopefully Scott didn't just get new ways to masturbate out of it. You know what I mean?
Well,
I
that
think,
could have been a plus as well.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think keeping off drugs is something that he needs. I told him the other day that when he is on drugs, he cannot handle it. He's a different person.
Right.
He's a different something.
Right.
And he needs the best he can to stay off of it. And going to jail for doing drugs is something I don't think he enjoys. I mean, getting to that point where he is literally going behind bars for drugs, I think he will agree that's not, where he wants to be in his life.
Well, we had this discussion, I think it was last week when Todd who came in here? Whose attorney came in here?
Todd McCormick.
Todd McCormick, the pot farmer with the chronic cancer guy, came in here. Woody Harrelson, all those guys, and we were talking about drugs, and we all think they should be legalized for the most part. And I don't like to see people in prison for drugs, but once in a while it saves someone's life.
Sure.
I mean, if they were just going to basically implode on the outside and there's no force that can get them to stop, then when they're in there.
Yeah, it sucks that the criminals that go to jail don't get reformed, you know? A lot of people go to jail for far worse things and come out, you know, committing the same crimes.
Right.
And that's a shame. As far as
Shame that they're let out?
What's that?
A shame that they're let out, or a shame that they don't
No,
get
it's
better?
a shame that they don't, you know, aren't rehabilitated.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I think some of them are. I think you don't tend to hear about them quite as much, but you certainly hear about the repeat offenders.
Right.
But be that as it may, we won't spin off that far in that direction. We want to talk about the tour and the album and all that good stuff. And we'll take some phone calls. We'll hear some stuff from Stone Temple Pilots. Drew?
They're watching that game like it's
Okay.
look at that.
Yeah, what is the game almost over, Ann?
Going to overtime.
Oh, really? How much time? What's the score?
How much?
Lakers are up. Suns getting the ball back. They got one last chance.
97,
How much time?
2 seconds, Drew.
2 seconds. All right.
All right, we'll
we'll
hop
see
on the
Scott about an
phones.
hour.
Joey,
Joey.
Yes.
you're
Yeah.
22. What's up?
Yeah. How you guys doing? First time caller. Listen to the show all the time. Had to say that.
Great.
Cool.
But no, I'm gonna get to the point. When I get an erection when I'm with my girlfriend and she turns me on and I get an erection, after I leave, if we don't have any physical contact or anything, after I leave and I start to lose my erection, it's like I either need to orgasm or I have to go to the bathroom. There's it leaks out, I guess you could say, a little bit, not a lot.
Yeah.
But it's only after I have the erection and after it's going down. It's not during, it's not before. It never happens any other time except for when my erection is going down.
When it's going down. That's interesting.
We don't get this.
You know what
that
I
much.
suspect? I suspect it's in the plumbing. It's in the pipes. It just sort of.
I do have a small bladder. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
No, it's not urine. It's semen. I'm sure of it because pre-cum is very common. I suspect it's just sort of sitting. The pipes are primed, and then when they sort of contract, something leaks out.
Well, maybe it's just gravity. Maybe when the penis starts heading down toward terra firma, the semen just starts seeping out.
Okay, because I do. I mean, this is another personal thing.
Drew, it's only 6 minutes in the show, and you punched a mic. Usually about the 8 or 10 minute mark.
Well, I mean, it takes me forever to finally reach orgasm.
That's nice.
But just it's that there's it's like pre-ejaculation.
That's what it is.
There's a little bit. Is there anything I can do for that? Or
Yes, put some tissue in your underpants before you go to your girlfriend's house.
No, it is normal, and everyone gets it.
Okay, because this is it never really happened.
All right.
Ooh.
This guy's very concerned
Wow.
about the 3 droplets of clear fluid that come out of his penis after he's had a sustained erection. It's like he could wax on. He could do a good 2-hour set on just his penis and the fluid that drips out on the way home. Fisher?
Yeah.
You're 15. What's up?
Yeah, I was at a party last week, and I got pretty messed up, and I blacked out and ended up waking up the next morning upstairs, which was 2 floors up from where I'd been. And then I went to school Monday, and my friend told me that I'd been raped.
Yeah. He's probably just screwing with you. I tell all my friends who get drunk and pass out they were raped.
This guy reminds me of the bogus caller that was attacking you the other night.
Yeah.
But I was chatting with somebody at in the chat rooms and came across a guy that knew the guy that called you.
Ooh.
And he said he's from Simi Valley, and he's 26. Did that guy sound 26 to you?
No, not chronologically.
He sounded
no.
like 17 at the most.
Anyway,
this is another bogus call.
you think so?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Fisher. Well,
Hey,
let
baby.
I just want to say you are a genius, Adam.
Thank you very much.
You are a man god. I hope to be like you someday.
Most gods are men, but thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
Good night.
thank you there, Fisher. Good luck with the rape.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Scott, nice to meet you.
So you'll never guess what happened. So I'm walking over here, and I get stuck in quicksand. and Mary throws a stick at me, and then I sink down. There's nothing but my hat left.
Were you
Just a
were you
pit
struggling?
helmet?
Because you were struggling. You should have held still.
No, I heard that last night. Your little quicksand thing.
You know, it was really weird. I walked into my writer's room at the Man Show today and started yelling at them about quicksand and why we don't have more things written about quicksand. And when you were talking about it just now, that's where I was remembering it from. So I thought to myself, how the hell did you hear that? Then I forgot. Yeah, it's the radio.
Yeah.
Well, Scott, I'm glad
The Lakers
you're here.
won, man. With the last 2 seconds of the game, we won. We won.
You were in the car
I was
driving back.
Yeah, I was at the
Oh.
game, and gosh, man, I hate when they throw those close ones like that. Kill me, little mini strokes, you know.
Yeah.
They were up pretty good in the third quarter, I think, and then they started to come undone a little toward the end.
foul shooting just started. They started sort of missing those free throws.
No, they sent Shaq to the line.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is from a geometry standpoint as far as why tall guys can't hit the free throws. You know what I mean? I mean, why would that? I mean, look at it this way.
Same reason they can't make watches. You know what I mean? The small muscle coordination ain't there the same way.
Yeah, you may have a point, or maybe they just don't have to buy watches. They just kick the small guy's ass and take the watch. But a midget couldn't hit a free throw. You know what I mean? A midget wouldn't have an advantage over a guy who was 5'10" or 6 foot tall. So why does a guy who's 7 foot have a disadvantage over a 6 foot guy?
I don't know. You know what? It's strange when you watch him and you're right, at that court level. He doesn't get any arc on it.
No,
he goes flat.
at all.
He
It's
always goes
straight.
flat,
It's
yeah.
like half the time it hits the front of the rim and bounces off. I don't think it has to do only with the size, because like Luke Longley, who plays for Phoenix, is 1 inch taller than Shaq, and he's got a nice arc, in his shot.
But white guys have to be able to make free throws, or they drum them out of the league.
But it's just he's so dominating, though, that it's just incredible to watch someone that huge, that quick and agile. It's just amazing.
Yeah, he is an incredible athlete, and I don't know. I mean, I watched the games, and he throws that big Shaq ass into people and starts backing them into the paint. And
Forget it.
You know what your defense is? You got to fall down on the ground and start biting his calf. I mean, that's like your only thing that's going to keep him out. And then you get a foul, and then he goes to the line, and then the game's over unless he misses, 10 out of 13 or something.
Yeah, I think he had like almost 40 points tonight.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, he just won his MVP.
MVP.
All right, so Scott, thanks for. We expected you in about an hour because we just saw the game end on the television.
You know what?
I was putting bets on 10:30.
I made a promise, and these days I try to say what I mean and mean what I say. So.
Well, that's refreshing. How was the pokey?
Oh, jail.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about that Hawaiian raw tuna dish.
That's pokey.
Yeah. Anyway, jail. You know what? It's not a great place to spend time. I was very fortunate that I have a good relationship with the people that run the Impact Drug and Alcohol program in Pasadena, and they have a rather, actually, it's a very experimental program within the LA County jail system that was that is sort of overseen by Sheriff Baca and the sheriffs. And when you're allowed to go into that program, do your time in there, it's in really sort of a clinical setting. So you're working with counselors from 7 in the morning till 7 at night. That's what most of your day is spent in group, doing book study and that, and working on getting into the solution instead of just sitting around commiserating about the problem. So I was really fortunate to be able that the judge gave me that opportunity. Now, like Robert Downey could have been given that opportunity to stay there because he was there at one time, but unfortunately, for whatever political reasons existed in that particular courtroom, that he wasn't as lucky. But I was.
Yeah, so you're not in with the rapists and the arsonists and the murderers.
Well, no, there are people in there who have committed some pretty awful things in their time. But you know what? It's just to say it doesn't mean that one person is any worse than the other, because any person who is severely addicted to drugs, I'm just fortunate. I make a lot of money. I didn't have to go to those lengths that a lot of people have to go to stay well and to not be sick. there are people that are really good people that in their disease are capable of doing just about anything at any given time. And some of those people have stooped to that level, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad person. It means that they suffer from a really bad disease.
Yeah, well, what choice do you have? I mean, if you have no money and no means and you're starting to go through withdrawals, or you're starting to get the shakes, or you're starting to, I mean, you're in a lot of pain physically.
It's more than just the. I don't want to speak for
Yeah.
you, but it's more than just the pain. It's some level a belief that you're going to be destroyed without the drug.
Yeah, definitely.
You're literally it's a
Panic.
survival instinct. That
Well, the
gets
point
kicked
is,
in.
you don't have any money. You think you're going to die. You need the drugs, and you start doing things that you never would have dreamt of doing.
Right.
And I don't know what percentage of crime is based on that, but I
it's like
would say a lot of
80%.
it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's like 80 to 90 in a lot of
huge.
areas.
Yeah.
Well, think about what desperate acts so much of the crime is. I mean, think about something like carjacking.
Right.
Think about something like just running into a liquor store and jumping behind the counter, or holding someone up at the ATM, or a home invasion or something. I mean, those aren't guys that are cracking a safe or timing the Brinks truck. I mean, those just desperate,
quick money.
quick things by desperate people, and you don't get desperate that way unless you put the drugs behind it.
Exactly.
Tony,
Yeah.
you're 18. What's up?
Hey. Okay, ever since I've been to college, like I just started college, and I've been having like total promiscuous sex. I don't know what my problem is. Before the past 4 months, I had to be in a relationship with somebody, and now I'm here at college, and it's just like I've had sex with a lot of guys in the past couple of months, and it's like nothing to me. I mean, either when I'm drunk or when I'm sober, and it's just so easy. And I'd have to be like emotionally involved with the person,
How many-
and I don't understand it.
How many are we talking about here?
It's just a number. It doesn't matter. But I don't understand why I'm doing it.
Well, listen, Miss Coy.
If it doesn't matter, then just throw it out there.
Well, I can say for myself, I went through a period of time when I was in high school and the first couple of years in college when I was pretty promiscuous. And after like doing a lot of sort of thinking about, as I got older, why it was, I definitely came to figure out through inventory that I was trying to overcompensate for feelings that I had kind of had for a lot of years as a person, feelings that I didn't really feel comfortable about inside. And so my actions were like an overcompensation to try to get rid of those negative feelings that I had inside.
You think you're doing that?
I don't know. I'm just like a guy without a penis. Like I totally feel
Yeah, me
like
too.
a guy now. I don't know what my problem is. I don't know.
Well, listen. Hey, Tony, tell us approximately so we can figure out what's going on. How many guys in that period of time?
Okay, like in the last 2 months, it's been 6 guys.
Oh, my God.
I know, and before that, I was like Mother Virgin Mary, Princess of
I know,
Earth.
but listen, 6 does not make a slut anyway.
Do you use protection?
Yes, of course. But in 2 months,
Yeah.
that's a lot for me, especially since I was just like a little baby girl yesterday, and now I'm in college screwing all these guys.
All right. Well, why don't you slow down a little bit?
I don't know.
Well, you don't think you can do
You
it?
think I'm a nymphomaniac? I mean,
Well-
I totally love sex now.
All right, here's the deal. If you're a sexual compulsive,
Uh-huh.
usually the most common road to that behavior is sexual abuse in childhood.
Never had any of it.
Is there addiction in your family, alcoholism?
My mother.
All right, so maybe you're an alcoholic addict, and maybe this is the way. Addicts and alcoholics have very responsive brains when they find ways to make themselves feel better.
Mm-hmm.
If they find their way to drugs, alcohol, sex, those things really do make you feel really good. And if you're carrying around a lot of negative feelings and you come upon one of these solutions, they become sort of compulsively entrenched.
So you think I'm taking like negative feelings that I'm having that I really don't, subconscious feelings that
Well,
I'm having?
not subconscious. You're not subconscious. You're just avoiding them. Maybe it's depression. I don't know what it is. You're just avoiding some feelings, and you're an addict, and you've found sex as a way of dealing with that.
Maybe you should try practicing masturbation more often. There's not as much guilt associated
well, I live
with it.
in the freaking dorms. I have a roommate. I mean, it's not that easy.
Oh, listen, you women can do it very quietly.
The only place we have to do it here is the showers, and it's just not fun.
Do it at nighttime while your roommate's asleep.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys.
All right. You're no help at all.
She's not interested in change. You hear that?
Sure.
No, but you know what's funny about being a woman is you have that awesome responsibility of having to sort of govern the amount of people you have sex with. It's like working at a Baskin Robbins.
I know.
And the manager's out of town, and it's like you could just eat all day. Every flavor, every scoop, the waffle cone, the sugar cone, get out the whipped cream. You can do whatever you want. You have to limit yourself.
You have the goods.
I believe that just an average-looking girl could go into just about any place and get laid 4 times more often than like the best-looking guy.
Well, it's infinity versus a fixed number.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And listen, she could get one of the Sheen brothers if she wanted to. I mean, you know what I mean? They can get celebrities if they want. Oh, yeah, and like on a college campus, go to a couple of fraternity parties. I mean, you can do whatever you want. Andy?
Lines are open.
Yeah, that's me.
What's up? You're 18.
Not much. First, I got to give out the obligatory shout to everybody. You guys all kick ass collectively.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
But the problem is, my girlfriend and I had sex probably a week or 2 ago now, and everything was fine during, like for both of us, everything was all good. And at the end of it, there was just a lot of blood, like everywhere, all over the sheets and everything like that.
That's all right. Was there a period coming up?
Definitely not. It had ended like a week before.
Well, it's not uncommon to stimulate bleeding. It really isn't. It doesn't mean anything specific.
I mean, everything's been fine since then, so we've been kind of not been worried about it. But it was just, I mean, it was very, very odd at the time.
She ought to have a routine. The fact that it was just after the conclusion of her period and the sheer volume is a little unusual, but just a routine kind of health screening is all she needs. Okay?
All right. Can I just throw in like a kind of rider question on there?
Right.
Sure.
Totally unrelated, but I was wondering, like, kind of physiologically, what the effects of ecstasy are. Like, I was thinking about trying it, and I'm very afraid of it.
Well, the main problem with it is that even after modest exposure, and again, what that number is and how much that is, nobody knows at this point. There is overwhelming evidence of significant brain damage in the parts of the brain that are responsible for mood and memory. The National Institute of Drug and Alcohol Abuse are going to come out with a major campaign showing PET scans of brains and how the function has changed after exposure to ecstasy.
Besides, sometimes really embarrassing things tend to happen, like you sleepwalk in the middle of the night, stand in the middle of your living room and pull down your pants and urinate. Yeah,
you did that.
I guess it depends
I did that before.
I guess it depends on what ecstasy you're getting too.
Pure MDMA is what I'm talking about.
You get the stuff with PCP, and I don't think you'll ever do it again.
Yeah, but pure MDMA is what does the damage.
You know what's interesting about guys? I don't think women do this, but when a guy gets really effed up, kind of blacks out, and does something in the middle of the night, it involves urine. It always involves urine.
Does,
I've had guys pee on their girlfriends, guys pee on their pets.
Turntable.
Drew's roommate in college lifted the lid of the turntable and started urinating all over his Molly Hatchets. Leonard Skinner. I don't know what you had. I think you had some like Sugar Low for Uriah Heep or Joni Mitchell on there. I mean, guys just start urinating places. That penis becomes it's worse than a car in the hands of a drunk driver. It can kill people.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always funny. I don't think women.
Never heard of that.
Women get effed up and might wet the bed.
Right.
Right.
But if they did get up, they'd go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Guys get out of bed.
It's always field day.
Walk over to the Cuisinart and start peeing on that.
Yeah, the traveling show.
Yeah, that's bizarre. It's like half on the beanbag, half on the cat, the other half in the toaster oven. Then I'm getting back into bed. I'm going to go to sleep.
Would it be urinating or would it be marking?
I think if you do it in more than 2 places, it's considered marking.
It's always very orderly. It's not that they're falling around or hostile. They're going around and leaving their mark.
It takes some skill to urinate on a turntable, Drew, right?
You have to lift that lid.
You have to lift the lid, which I'm guessing he mistook for the toilet lid.
Toilet seat. Yeah.
You're lucky you didn't have to go number 2, though. Yeah. All right, Stone Temple Pilots are here. Number 4 is the CD, and we're going to be back and hear something off of that after this.
LoveLine.
LoveLine. We'll be right back.
The biggest name in club music is back with 24 smash hits on 2 unforgettable CDs. It's the Best of Club Mix from K-Tel Cold Front with #1 dance hits by Tag Team, Christine W., Robin, LaBouche, Moby, and more. 2 CDs, 24 non-stop hits. The best of Club Mix. Pick it up at Best Buy or at KTEL.com.
Oh, there ain't no bugs on me. There ain't no bugs on me. There may be bugs on some of you mugs, but there ain't no bugs on me.
Avon Skin So Soft Bug Guard Plus keeps the bugs off and the sun away. Vitamin E and aloe are good for skin. DEET-free formula's bad for bugs.
Oh, there ain't no ticks on me. There may be ticks on some of you chicks, but there ain't no ticks on me.
For Skin So Soft, talk to your Avon representative or 1-800-4AVON.
Hi, I'm Serenity, and these are my friends, Missy and Stephanie.
You know, a lot of things happen to us every day that we have no control over. But HIV and other sexually transmitted diseases aren't things that just happen to you. You do have a choice.
You can choose to use a condom, have safe sex, and take control of your life.
Asking for a condom isn't stupid. It's smart. It shows that you care about yourself and your partner. You can do something about sexually transmitted diseases.
Use a condom.
Every partner. Every time.
We do.
A message brought to you by Wicked Pictures and AIDS Project Los Angeles.
Oh, come on, have a drink.
No thanks.
Just one little drink.
I don't want to.
Chicken, everyone else is.
I said no.
What a nerd. One little drink won't kill you.
You've heard it all before. Be cool. Join the crowd. Have a drink, even though you're not 21.
Let's go. She's no fun.
Make the right choice. Don't give in. Underage drinking is dumb and dangerous.
Look out!
A public service message from the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Somewhere in our community is a mother whose drug abuse once left her unable to care for her kids. There's a father, too, whose alcohol use drove his wife and children away. There's a boyfriend whose drug use frightened his girlfriend into giving him an ultimatum: get help or I'm gone. Help is available. It's in the form of treatment programs for drug abuse and alcohol problems, and the good news is that these programs are making a big difference in people's lives. With proper treatment, mothers and fathers, sweethearts and coworkers, friends and neighbors are overcoming drug and alcohol problems and reclaiming their lives. Isn't it great that treatment works? To find out about drug and alcohol treatment programs that can help, call 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-HELP. There is help, and it works. A public service of this station and the Center for Substance Abuse Treatment.
Dad, I don't think our campfire's totally out.
Are you kidding me? I know when a campfire's out.
Did you drown the fire with water and stir it with a stick?
No, it's out. We don't have to... Who said that?
Frank, it's a talking moose with sunglasses.
And a bunch of singing and dancing forest animals.
We know we can count on you to do what Smokey says.
And when your folks desire to build a fire,
hot, hot.
Clear brush and branches away. And keep water nearby like you oughta.
Okay, I poured water on the fire. I stirred it with a stick. Everybody walked slowly toward the RV.
Dad, these are just Smokey's friends.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Frank, it's Smokey.
Nice hat, Smokey. Want the rest of my peanut butter sandwich?
Dad!
Visit Smokey at www.smokeybear.com. Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, the National Association of State Foresters, and the Ad Council.
Killed me.
Yeah, it is Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew over there. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Hey, the Man Show's going to start in a few minutes, kiddies. Just thought I'd give you a little heads up there.
Whatever.
Scott Weiland and Robert DeLeo are all here from Stone Temple Pilots. Number 4 is the name of the new CD. We'll hear something off that. I think we'll take a call, then we'll hear something off the CD. I was driving home last night from the radio station here, Drew, about 12 and change in the evening, and I noticed a spider crawling along my windshield right in front of me,
Inside or outside?
Right my eyesight. Outside. If it was on the inside, I wouldn't be here. I would have turned into the bay.
Okay.
Tried to drown the spider. I've done that before. But I noticed it, and I thought, that's funny, because I'm driving, and my window's rolled up, and it's out there, and I'm doing about 35, and that thing's going to go flying off any second now.
Made it all the way home.
No, I don't know where it came off, but I got onto the on-ramp, and I got onto the 10, and I got it wound up to about 85, and the thing was still on there. And it was it was yelling like mother effer and spider the whole time. Probably couldn't figure out what was going on, but it was on a piece of glass. And it was toward the top, but it was right where I could see it, right in front of me, and I was literally over 80 miles an hour. Did not come off. And I thought eventually it probably did come off. It was sort of crawling toward the roof. But how does it do that? It was on glass. I mean, it wasn't like, it was a piece of leather or something, or burlap or something, or wood or anything. It was glass. And I was over 80, and it was just hanging. I mean, it was really hanging tough, but it was hanging. And I thought, I wish I could do that.
Didn't Spider-Man climb buildings?
Yeah.
Kind of the same principle.
Same thing. He got the high dose of gamma radiation, which, as you know, either kills you or
turns you into half a spider.
Or you start growing. You get huge.
That's right. You get huge, too. All right, so let's talk to Amber over here. Were you talking to Amber?
Spider senses are tingling.
You know.
Yeah. Amber?
Yeah.
You're 19. What's up?
I've been with this guy for 2 years, over 2 years, and we were sexually active, but lately he wants to have anal sex a lot, and, I don't mind. I let him or whatever, but I want it in this one position that makes me have an orgasm really quick.
What's that?
It's like I'm on top of him, and I, put my arm around him and, pull him up towards me. And
wait, I was saying.
Yeah, she's on top, and then he, sits up, right?
Yeah, kind of, but I'm, holding him up.
Sure, that's our position.
Oh, you and I, yeah, that's right.
I mean, when we travel, of course.
And he's like...
Dude, you always turn away from me.
Well, because I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of my love. And the TV's on. All right, so, yeah.
He doesn't want to do it, and I'm like, well, he let me do it, I, finally discovered this position, and I, love it so much. And then I, want to do it, and then all of a sudden he's like, I don't want to do that because it makes me feel like a bitch. I'm like, what are you talking about?
He is a world-class dick.
And then so we got in this huge fight. I'm like, I'm not having sex with you anymore.
Now, this is very interesting because what he wants then is to put her in this totally demeaning, dependent position.
Totally.
Right.
As opposed to sort of mutual position where she has some capacity to be present and in control. He can't tolerate that.
I think it's past the sex at that point. It's more of a
domination.
Oh, yeah.
It's aggression. If you're in an intimate relationship, it's like you're in a pretty lucky situation if you ever get to have it that way at once in your life. I mean, for him to sort of suggest that that's how he likes to have sex is definitely pretty strange. And the fact that you're aware of a way that stimulates you and you're able to reach orgasm easiest, I would think that he would be happy to, please you in that way, because what seems to make, most guys, happy in the sexual way is when they know that they're, getting their woman that they love off. I mean, that makes a man.
I don't think it's sex at that point, though. I think it's a matter of maybe you should ask him what he really thinks of women.
Yeah.
As a woman, I think it's not even about the sex at that point. It sounds like he's making you out to be something that
maybe it's something that happened to him when he was younger or something.
Yeah.
Hey, Amber.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just based on this information alone. We're deeming this guy an a-hole and telling you to possibly break up with him. We don't like him. Listen, my theory, and I've told this to Drew many times, the guys who are obsessed with anal sex are not obsessed with the sensation of anal sex. They're obsessed with degrading women and the fact that the women don't want to do it. And a lot of guys just try to get women to do stuff they don't want to do.
Absolutely.
For me, it's everything.
Well,
I mean, holding hands.
And it's interesting. The reason he doesn't want to engage in a situation where there's mutuality is he feels like a woman.
Right.
Which is what could be worse than that.
Oh,
yeah, what could be worse than that for
so
him?
you have an orgasm in that position, right?
Right.
Oh, son of a bitch. Anything. You know what? This guy doesn't know how good he has it because we got to do the sex and then it's down in the basement for a half hour. You know what I mean? I mean, most women get off orally. And they can enjoy the intercourse, but eventually you want to finish the job, you got to get down there and get busy. And geez, if you're getting off and you're just sitting on all the guy's got to do is sit up for 3 minutes. I mean, for Christ's
What a
sake.
bitch.
Yeah, he's got it made.
Man.
All right, Amber, we don't like this guy. What's he do for a living?
He goes to college.
He does what?
He goes to college.
College?
Yeah.
You counting welding school as college, or is it real college?
What do you mean college?
Uh-huh. He plays basketball. He plays basketball at college.
Junior college?
No.
All right, Amber?
Yeah.
We don't like his style. And any guy on the basketball team that's trying to put his Pepe in my a-hole is not a good guy. That guy's got to be hung. He's on the basketball team, right?
New guy. There's someone out there that'll treat you better.
He's not a point guard, is he?
No.
What position?
He's center.
Center. Oh. I mean, he's got to be at least 6'8", right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although we've met people that've been with centers.
He's got a big...
Right? Right?
Yeah. Speaking of Shaq. Hey, Amber?
Yeah.
Okay, keep him away.
Thanks.
All right, there. We were talking to... who was that?
Holly
Robinson Pete?
Was it her?
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
She married Rodney Pete,
yeah.
I think. Anyway, I don't know what we were talking about. Jeez, I hope Shaq's still in the locker room. But we're on the TV show, and I don't know what I was talking about. I said, imagine this Shaq with his penis out chasing around the apartment. I mean, what a nightmare that would be for a young lady. And, Holly is probably 5'4", and she leaned over during the commercial and said, I used to date Shaq. And I went, oh, my condolences to your vagina. And she said, no big deal. I was like, oh, my God. And then a big high five by me and Drew. I thought, yeah.
There is a God.
There is a God.
Right.
That's right. $30 million a year. Can't do anything. All right. We're gonna hear a song from Stone Temple Pilots. What do you say? Good. All right, you queued up there, Anderson? Yes. This is Sour Girl.
What We'll be right back with more LoveLine.
How was school today, Rebecca?
We learned what the Earth was like a long time ago, way back in the 1990s.
Oh.
Grandpa, did you ever taste water?
Oh, my, no. By the time I was a boy, water, if you could find it, was pretty much unfit to drink. But I hear tell, long ago, children used to make lemonade with actual tap water and drink it on hot, sunny days.
Really?
Yeah, and sometimes they'd fill balloons with water and toss them at each other and laugh, or run through the sprinkler singing and carrying on. And then after a day of playing, their folks would put them in the tub, fill it with water and bubbles, and scrub them until they were squeaky clean.
Wow. Why didn't people try to save the water?
Well, I guess they didn't think one person could make a difference.
Thousands of Americans make a difference every day. For example, over 900 million tons of untreated sewage is no longer discharged into our nation's waters. A message from ECHO, the Earth Communications Office.
Okay, class. This part of the museum is known as the Hall of Trees.
What's a tree?
Large plants that once covered much of the Earth. This is a full-scale model of a maple tree.
What are those green things?
Those were called leaves. They took in sunlight, nourished the tree, expelled oxygen, creating air for people to breathe.
People didn't breathe out of air tanks?
No, then air was everywhere. The sky was blue, even the ocean was blue.
The ocean was blue?
And filled with fish.
What's a fish?
When you protect the Earth, you protect your health and that of your children. We're making progress. There has been a significant improvement. 20 years ago, air pollution in Los Angeles exceeded health standards on 4 out of every 5 days. But we still have a long way to go.
Here's the Hall of Weather. Press that button and you'll hear a rainfall.
Why'd they need rain?
Without rain, a flower couldn't grow.
What's a flower?
One person can make a difference. A message from ECHO, the Earth Communications Office.
Personally, I'm so sick of hearing about the environment.
I know. What's everyone so worried about?
51 million Americans live in areas where the air is officially classified as unhealthy to breathe.
It's a big world, and it's been here a long time.
Yeah, we're talking years and years and years.
The Center for Disease Control says that 94,000 people get sick every year from contaminated water. 900 of those people die.
It's all in their heads.
It's media hype.
The average American dumps at least 20 pounds of household toxins down the drain every year, most of which ends up in the drinking water supply.
Personally, I drink tap water. I mean, it's not like we're in Bangladesh.
Personally, I feel fine. I mean, I ask you, seriously, who's really getting hurt here?
5.8 million children died last year as a result of unsafe drinking water.
Not me or my kids, right, Billy? Billy? Where are you?
Can one person make a difference? Today, 66% of our rivers and lakes are safe for fishing and swimming, a third more than in 1970. One person can make a difference. A message from ECHO, the Earth Communications Office.
And now, Vince and Larry, the crash test dummies, with a lullaby.
Crumple, crumple, little car, when you crash, it's au revoir.
If on dumb luck you rely, through the windshield they will fly.
Keep your children off the streets, put your kids in safety seats.
Crumple, crumple, little car, don't be dummies like we are. Gee, Vince, I'm kind of sleepy now.
Okay, Larry, just crash anywhere.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your kids' safety belts. A message from the Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Oh, come on, have a drink.
No thanks.
Just one little drink.
I don't want to.
Chicken, everyone else is.
I said no.
What a nerd. One little drink won't kill you.
You've heard it all before. Be cool. Join the crowd. Have a drink, even though you're not 21.
Let's go. She's no fun.
Make the right choice. Don't give in. Underage drinking is dumb and dangerous.
Look out!
A public service message from the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Like,
oh, that's good radio, Drew. Phone number.
He's rubbing off on you.
1-800-LOVE-191. Forget about the fax number. That is Dr. Drew. I'm Adam Carolla. Scott and Robert are both here from Stone Temple Pilots. 4 is the name of the CD. We got some. The tour starts on the 20th of May, and I have some concert dates. I can give some of you out there a heads up when they're coming to a city near you. But I want to just check these off with producer Ann and make sure I'm giving the right cities the right heads up. All right. So we'll get into that, and I'll give you guys a heads up next break. Sean,
caller who goes by Sean,
who is 25 years of age.
And sleeping.
Oh, really? It's no fun unless they're snoring, though. All right, we'll put Sean back on hold and speak to Jenna. Oops. How'd I do that? Jenna?
Hello?
You're 20. What's up?
I've had sex 528 times in the past 19 months, and I was...
Oh, my God.
Well, wait a minute. Same person?
Yeah, with my boyfriend, fiance. We're getting married in August.
Do you have some kind of little hat sheet or something? Some kind of counting device?
Yeah, it's like on your fighter plane. You mark them off every time you have a kill.
She puts the swastikas on the windshield.
Footballs on the helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on a second. I got something to say about that. I was talking about quicksand last night and what happened to quicksand. Scott was nice enough to bring up. But what happened to sticking stickers onto things and putting notches in things to signify things?
Yes.
Like gunslingers from the Old West would put a notch on their holster or on the handle of their
People
gun.
in prison would be marking off the days.
Yeah, they do that, scratch it into the side of the wall, and then do the X thing for the 5 days. Fighter pilots would have the Japanese rising sun flag or the swastika, whatever it was. Football players, it was very popular, especially in college and in high school. They'd put the sticker, the skull and crossbones or whatever, all over the side of the helmet. I think Michigan Wolverines used to do that. Ohio State
still does it, but I think they're like the only major team that still does that.
Yeah. Anderson said Willie Stargell, I think, used to do that. I think the Pittsburgh Pirates used to have something. There was this very hot trend, notches in the bedpost for every time you got laid. People don't keep tallies anymore, not in the form of stickers and notches. I'd like to see some of that coming back. Drew?
I would like that, too.
Yeah.
Not only that.
But, Jenna?
Yeah?
528 in what period of time?
19 months.
So what's 19 times 30? So it's
about 600.
About a year and a half.
It's about once a day, right?
Roughly.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Great.
That's great.
God bless you. So what is the? I'm not sure I understand the question.
And how do you tally it?
Like penetrative sex, like just you write it down. I also write down like if it's anywhere interesting.
Right. I understand.
Do you have a diary or something?
Yeah.
Well, it used to be. Now it looks like a phone book. Hey, but you know what's lovely about women? Guys, hold on 1 second, because I just need an amen here. Jenna's 20. Jenna, gets up to 1,300 times in as many days with a guy, chronicles each one of them in painstaking detail. They get engaged, but he ends up banging her best friend 6 months later. They break up. Somewhere down the line, you enter Jenna's life. Now you're dating Jenna. You're getting pretty serious. And it's that time in your life you're starting to think about settling down, and Jenna goes away to Vegas for a weekend with 4 of her friends who are from Michigan, where they grew up, and they're having girls' night, and you're alone in the place, and one night you're looking for
scissors.
You're looking for scissors, and out slides this lovely book. It's bound in leather, and you open it up, and the first page, number 1. He banged me against the crapper in the downstairs bathroom. Turn the page. By the time you get to 1427, we screwed on the space shuttle. I mean, women love to chronicle this stuff, but what they don't realize is they then take all of this documentation into their next relationship, gather some more documents, move into a next one. I mean, she's 20. By the time she, settles in at 27 with some guy, this guy has a dossier of her sexual encounters. It's like the president. It's like the Watergate hearings.
It does point out the difference between how men and women perceive that, and for women, it's like those are episodes of romance, of connectedness. For men, it's like, yeah, it's sex, Jack.
I know, but the next son of a bitch who has to get hold of that diary, though. All right, Jenna.
You want something even more entertaining? Writing it down was his idea.
Oh, no.
You're not marrying him.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I am.
All right, you better. That's it. And the day you guys divorce is the day you burn that.
Wait a minute. There's something diabolical in this.
Yeah.
He writes it
No,
down.
she has this dossier. And make sure guys come across it. They're going to be like, oh, no, I can't.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I'd make you wear it around your neck. All right, Jenna, so you never stop having sex.
No.
Day number 45. He pulls out to get drink of water and is back in 5 minutes. All right, so what's up?
Just wondering what the medical classification for a nymphomaniac was and how close I am to that.
Well, it has nothing really to do with the frequency so much as the consequences of the behavior. In other words, if you're doing it in situations that are dangerous or potentially harmful, or if there's progressivity, worsening of the intensity of the risk and the kinds of things that are happening as a result of the behavior, you're losing money.
What's up with this guy wanting it documented, though? That's strange.
Probably tiny little bit of obsessive compulsive.
Yeah.
He's pretty much of a perfectionist.
Is he an accountant or something?
Creative writing major. Poet, writer, yeah.
All right. So now does he ever criticize you for not writing with enough flair?
Actually, no. I was in debate in high school, and I can write just as well as he does.
Fantastic.
So what you guys are doing is performance art.
Yeah, you could call it that.
All right, Jenna.
All right, thanks.
All right, don't have any kids for a little while. You're both going to screw them up, okay?
Please.
Definitely would. Talk to you later.
Yeah.
These two are sane, but
barely.
Sort of.
He's grading her paper. I think is what is happening there.
Yeah, that is not the plan. The objective is to try to stick the paper together, not grade it. Jess.
Matthew,
what's
Hey.
up?
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, well, my question is, I smoke weed every day.
No kidding.
Hold on, let me scrape Drew up off the carpet. He is flabbergasted.
I bet.
In all his years of training, he never has been fooled this way. All right, Matthew.
Yeah, but I was wondering what is the effects of, because I have chronic bronchitis too.
Chronic bronchitis is a routine complication of marijuana use. That's pretty much everybody gets that.
Baffled, aren't you?
Yeah,
Really?
that's shocking.
Everybody gets it?
If you smoke a lot of pot, everybody. It's one of the. It just sort of absolutely does that. It's a routine
really?
deal. But whether or not it causes emphysema is debate. Whether or not it causes lung cancer or heart disease, probably not. There's some concern about lung cancer. And then the overwhelming concern, obviously, is what it does to your brain.
Makes you pretty damn mellow, too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, but
you can. One positive thing is I hear that you can tend to get really good at video games.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you get locked in. You are the video game. That's why.
You're in it.
You don't have distractions like peripheral vision. And
Really
things
good
like
at remembering the Domino's pizza delivery number and stuff like that.
All right, hey, Matthew.
Yeah.
I know pot seems pretty harmless and pretty benign at this stage in your life, but it can ruin you and it can screw you up.
Yeah, I was
And
wondering.
you may be a good candidate for that.
It shrinks your brain too.
Shrinks it?
Yes,
it does. In fact, there's good evidence, particularly the parts of the brain in your age group, the right frontal lobe seems to be affected most, which is the one you're supposed to be using as you go through school.
But here's the good news: your brain shrinks, but your breasts grow, so it does kind of even out. That's
true. That's what happens.
That's a bad hand. I mean.
So how old is he
It
now?
reminds me of one of those. It's kind of like one of those
18.
little squeezy devices with the guys that you squeeze in their eyeballs, and their ears.
Yeah,
Just
squeeze his
the
head, the boobs
Yeah,
can
there
fly
you go.
out. Yeah, and the nuts suck up, too.
So in 10 years, he'll be wearing a man's
Indeed
ear.
they do.
Drew, you ought to come up with a little squeezy stoner doll
Yes,
to really
Adam,
drive
this
the
is
message home to the
This
kids.
is the best idea you've ever had. This is it.
It was yours, buddy. All right, we're going to take a little break. Stone Temple Pilots are here, and we'll be back after this.
LoveLine, 1-800-LOVE-191. Back in a minute.
Well, it's worth hearing.
Remember what college cost in the early 80s?
Tuition?
Yeah, books, typewriter, room and board.
Well, yeah, a bundle.
Was it worth it?
Well, of course. Every penny.
And get this, now it's over twice what you paid.
Well, yeah, but I don't have to worry about my kids' college bills for another 15 years.
Well, if costs keep hiking up and up, you'll be shelling out more in just 1 year for each of your children than you spent on yourself for all 4 years of college.
Ouch! So what do I do?
You better start saving today with U.S. savings bonds. They're easy to buy and afford and are guaranteed safe.
Yeah?
And savings bonds earn a treasury-based rate of interest right from the start.
Wow. Where do I find them?
At most banks. Or ask your employer about the payroll savings plan. But whatever you do, start saving now, or you'll be...
Rooting for a scholarship?
Exactly.
Mommy, can I have a drink of water?
Remember the last time you changed your motor oil? You let it flow down a storm drain. It found its way into our waters. So did that paint you tossed in the garbage, as well as those fertilizers you might have used a few too many of. If you think your actions have no effect on our waters, think again.
Thank you, Mommy.
You can help preserve our waters, not only for your sake, but for hers. Recycle used motor oil, dispose of paint and household toxins properly, practice composting, and use lawn and garden products sensibly. It's a small price to pay to preserve our greatest natural resource, and the reasons for doing so can be just as small.
Good night, Mommy.
Clean water. If we all do a little, we can do a lot. To find out how to help reclaim our waters, call 1-800-504-8484. That's 1-800-504-8484. Brought to you by the Natural Resources Defense Council, the Ad Council, and the EPA.
Oh, come on, have a drink.
No thanks.
Just one little drink.
I don't want to.
Chicken, everyone else is.
I said no.
What a nerd. One little drink won't kill you.
You've heard it all before. Be cool. Join the crowd. Have a drink even though you're not 21.
Let's go. She's no fun.
Make the right choice. Don't give in. Underage drinking is dumb and dangerous.
Look out!
A public service message from the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
And now, Vince and Larry, the crash test dummies with a lullaby.
Crumple, crumple, little car. When you crash, it's au revoir.
If on dumb luck you rely, through the windshield they will fly.
Keep your children off the streets. Put your kids in safety seats.
Crumple, crumple, little car. Don't be dummies like we are. Gee, Vince, I'm kind of sleepy now.
Okay, Larry, just crash anywhere.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your kids' safety belts. A message from the Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
McGruff here at the airport with some tips that can help make your traveling safer. Pardon me, sir.
Hey, aren't you,
McGruff, the crime dog.
Yeah, I thought I recognized the pause.
Where do you keep your wallet?
My hip pocket.
Well, look over there at that man at the ticket counter.
So?
The guy behind him in line just bumped him.
Yeah?
And he could have picked his pocket while the man was talking to the ticket agent. Just like someone could have picked yours while you were looking over there.
Oh, gosh.
Put your wallet in your front pants pocket or your briefcase.
Yeah, really, sure.
Another thing, hold on to that laptop computer all the time. Don't put it down. It's too easy for someone to pick it up when you turn your head.
Oh, hey, you're just full of good advice. Thanks, McGruff.
You're welcome. Just remember, keep your wallet in a safe place. Never leave your bags or valuables unattended, even for a minute. Do that and you'll be helping take a bite out of crime. You got it. A public service message from me, McGruff, the U.S. Department of Justice, the Crime Prevention Coalition, and the Ad Council.
Dad, can me and Olivia and you take me to the zoo?
Kids need dads when they're babies.
Daddy, can I tell you a secret? I think there is a monster under my bed.
When they're little, when they're teens, when they're young adults.
Dad, all my friends stay out till midnight.
But sadly, most kids don't have a dad to rely on.
Dad, I met the most amazing person the other day, and I was just wondering, how did you know that Mom was the one?
Because most dads spend less than 10 minutes a day with their kids.
Dad, should I invest in a CD or a mutual fund? And what do you think?
Being a dad is real simple. All it takes is time, and it takes a man to be a dad. Call 1-800-790-DADS for free, helpful information. A message from the National Fatherhood Initiative and the Ad Council.
Yep, it is Loveline. I'm Adam Caroll. That is
Now
Dr.
she's
Drew.
a lot better except for the last couple
She's
days.
just talking about it. Yeah.
Scott Weiland is here. Robert DeLeo
So
also
she hates
from,
you and hates her pregnancy. You did this to her.
Stone Temple.
Come again.
Pilots are the name of the band. Number 4 is the name of the CD. Drew just slammed the door on Robert, but that's all right. He's in and getting seated, and we'll start the second hour of the fabulous program. We're going to hear something from number 4, Stone Temple Pilots CD, coming up real shortly. And, oh, man, I got a lot of concert dates. We'll put it this way. If you live in the United States, they're coming. They're coming to your town or a neighboring town in the next few months. And out with the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who, well, let's see. I don't know if I've met everyone from Red Hot Chili Peppers. There's a band that's had a few ups and a few downs.
And Fishbone, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think Fishbone is actually...
They're doing the first leg. We're doing 2 legs with the Peppers, and then on the first leg, the Fishbone are opening the show.
Yeah, Fishbone's a real fun, good band that's been around for maybe as long as the Peppers.
Yeah, they have both. I think
longer.
Maybe longer?
Both groups pretty much started, I think, in the early 80s. I believe the Chili Peppers' first record came out in 1983 or 81.
I think it was 81.
Yeah, the first one came out in 81. The second one came out in 83.
And Fishbone has been sort of... I'm trying to figure out a way to put this without sounding like a slight against the band, but they've pretty much just been doing their thing. Never really peaked, never really bottomed, always had a strong fan base. People who know music know who they are, but never really...
There's
never hit that zenith.
Just from meeting those guys, there's serious musical integrity.
Yeah.
On all their, on everyone's behalf.
And Angelo writes a lot of poetry too.
Yeah,
he does.
Really
I think, unfortunately, the problem, and it's a similar problem that's existed within rock and roll since the beginning of rock and roll, is that these are guys who play. They're known for like their ska show, and I think that it's a lot easier for record corporations to sell a ska band that are filled with good-looking white guys in zoot suits.
Interesting.
And you have guys that are not white guys, and they have been doing that form of music, this new ska. And because they're not white, the record companies don't have a harder time selling that.
Well, you know what?
It's the same thing with the Elvis story.
Angelo is they're so real, it's harsh.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't have that sort of mainstream appeal.
Yeah, they're confrontational.
He did a webcast with me at drdrew.com, and we have a speaker to the street. People gather out and watch these webcasts we do, and he read a poem, and it was amazing, but it was so harsh we got in trouble with the Pasadena Police Department.
Really?
It was like it was decent, and it was great, artistic, wonderful poem, but it was harsh.
It's amazing to me though. How do you keep up that level of intensity for 20 years? You know what I mean? I understand when you're 19 and you're angry at the world and you got testosterone coursing through your veins, but I can tell you personally the difference between 35 and 19 is I go home and wait to die every night. I hope to die. I sleep with my fingers crossed. I don't have to wake up dead, so I don't have to leave the house the next day. And I don't know, I could not get up on stage, do the tour, have that kind of fire in my belly that these guys have each and every night. But the point is if you go out and see them in concert, you'll be the recipient of that unextinguishable fire that burns deep in the heart of the belly of Fishbone and Stone Temple Pilots and Red Hot Chili Peppers. There was a smooth transition. Matt?
Hey.
You're 22. What's up?
Hey, I'm a huge STP fan.
Thank you.
Scott, I love you. You're the greatest. And I already got my tickets for your sax show.
My sex show?
Your Sacramento show.
Oh.
Sorry.
The tickets for my sex show haven't gone on sale yet.
Damn.
You're gay.
My favorite song is that Adhesive off Tiny Music, and I was just going to see if you can tell me a little bit about the history of that. And did you guys do that live, or?
You know what? That song is probably one of our favorite songs too. Definitely off of Tiny Music. And the odd thing is that that's probably the only song that we have never fully performed live.
That one's kind of tough to tackle.
It was kind of a song that we just approached in the studio, and I don't know really how we would pull that off. But then again, we thought that of help me out with this one. The one we just recently started doing.
Kitchenware and candy
Kitchenware and
bars.
candy bars, but we found a way to do that live. Lyrically, the song is sort of about my life at the time. I was really struggling very hard with drug addiction, and we were being pushed very hard to to do a lot of work and to do a lot of touring. And at that time, I sort of felt like, there's a line that sort of sums it up. It says, Selma Records, if I'm dead, Purple Flowers once again, hope it's sooner, hope it's near, corporate records fiscal year. That's kind of, I don't know in a nutshell what those words sort of were to me.
Hey, Matt?
Yeah.
When they get to Sacramento, which, by the way, is going to be on the 9th of September, I believe.
September, wow.
They'll be there June 10th.
Oh, June 10th? What'd I do? I missed that one? Well, the point is when they do come there,
Yep.
they're not going to play that song. All right?
Okay. I love the rest of them, too. So it's all
Good. They'll play those.
Asshole.
Katie?
Yes.
What's up?
Hello. First of all, I'd like to say I love the show. And Adam, you kind of come across, sometimes as being crass or whatever. But
No.
I know that's hard to believe, but you're not fooling me. I think you're just really sensitive, and you give great advice to people.
Thank you.
Man, have you
Thank you.
really
Thank you.
pulled the wool over this young lady's eyes. haven't you?
But anyways, my question is, I was curious if it's possible for a condom to leak, even if it doesn't break
Yes.
through the bottom.
Absolutely. Oh, through the base, like where it's sort of. Yeah, that is one of the areas of concern. If it slips or if it
You
leaks
mean
out
seepage around the
base, around where it's supposed to. That's why you got to roll it all the way down.
That's a bad sign. if
And they
that
can leak
happens.
out the tip without having an actual break too. That's another way they fail.
Or if you have a member the size of Robert's, then they just tend to bust on you.
Yeah, no, it didn't break, but I had sex with my boyfriend today, and it just kind of felt after he had an orgasm like it leaked at the bottom.
Yeah, I can.
And I wasn't sure if I should be concerned about, because I believe it's kind of around when I'm ovulating also. So that's
You ought to take that morning after pill if you have any concern at all.
Okay.
Really?
But how often would one leak? I mean, without breaking.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound that likely.
You know what? It's not that likely, but she has a concern about it.
Yeah, I'm
what
sure
the
you
hell?
don't want to be the person
Take that morning after pill.
Yeah.
Why not?
I when I was in the LA County Jail, in that drug program, every month you had an AIDS class, and they gave us this sheet of paper at the end of the class, and it had all the main condom brands, and then it broke them down into their percentage of effectiveness, and it's pretty amazing that some of the main brands are only like around 55, 60 to 70% effective. Like, even like Trojan, the ones that were up in the 90 were I can't remember the name of the one, but
It used to be Ramsey's. I think now
I think it was
Goodyear.
Durex now.
I think those ones were a couple of the ones, but there was a lot of the ones that people use all the time. The percentage wasn't really all that effective.
Wouldn't that be the thrust of your advertising campaign if you
We're the-
were
yeah.
amongst the higher ones up there? I mean, they're always doing these things where,
4 out of 5 dentists surveyed.
Yeah, I mean, if I got a condom company and I'm in the 90% effectiveness percentile, and that my competitors are down in the 60s, that's the first thing I'm bringing up. I mean, that is the paramount issue. I never see them. They never seem to bring that up. They never slam the other ones. You know how like Pepsi always slams Coke, or Coke will slam Pepsi. You know, when they're doing advertising, you never hear Ramsey slamming Trojan, or Trojan slamming Chic, or
Because I think it's not the effectiveness that sells condoms; it's the sensitivity.
I guess that's. I guess
you know
that's
why I
true.
also think it's a problem? I think each of these companies makes so many different brands. They probably also have some of the lesser effective ones.
Brought to you by Westwood One and Trojan, America's #1 condom, trusted for over 80 years.
That's right, but not the same condom. You got to get a new one every 65 years, right? Is that true, Drew? Emil?
48.
Emil?
Emo.
Okay,
Email?
but just listen. Listen, Emil, if someone calls you Emil, answer, right?
Yeah.
All right. What's up?
I got a problem with violence, especially towards my girlfriend.
Jesus. Joel, a mental note. Don't make fun of guys' names who have problems with violence. And his voices sound like Paul Bunyan and James Earl Jones.
Sorry.
All right. That's all right. Now, don't ever apologize. That's fine. Everything you do is golden around here. What are you doing?
Well, I mean, I lose my temper a lot. I mean, I don't mean to. I mean, I do. I feel bad about it.
And what do you do? What's the worst you've done?
I broke someone's neck once.
Well,
that's why I got...
that's not so bad. Yeah, I'm sure they had it coming. Was this a girlfriend or just some guy?
No, this is someone I was locked up with.
Okay. Drew, watch the door, would you? And what were you locked up for?
Assault.
I see.
Assault.
All right, so you have a history of violence then, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you'd like to stop that?
Yeah.
And someone was violent with you when you were growing up?
Sure.
Yeah, a little bit. We all had a little violence, you know.
No, not everyone does. And it's what causes kids to... It's like taking a puppy and beating the crap out of it. Are you surprised when that dog wants to bite everybody that comes around? No, of course not. Somehow we miss that in humans.
Right. All right, so you've been incarcerated. You're out now, but you still have some of the same tendencies.
Have you been on medication?
No.
Has anybody ever suggested that to you?
They suggested it for my parole, but my whole thing is about my girlfriend. I mean, one of these days I'm going to hurt her, and I really don't want to, and I really love her.
All right.
Well, the whole thing's not about your girlfriend. The whole thing's really about you. And you know what? I can say this. You know, I have a problem with drugs and alcohol. And you know, I've also been incarcerated too.
Yeah.
But you know what? If the problem's not with like your girlfriend or your brother or your best friend, the problem really is kind of like if you want to stop acting that way and you feel really bad about it and it's affecting the relationships in your life, you really need to do kind of what Drew said and go talk to a professional, man, because it's something that a lot of people suffer from, and there are people that can help you with that problem, and it will improve the quality of your life. And part of it might be that you might need to take some kind of medication to take the edge off your temper.
Take the edge off, or to help contain in those situations where it seems to get out of control. It's a biological process, and there are things that can just sort of keep a lid on it for you.
Isn't Tegretol a drug that people use for that a lot of times?
Anti-epileptic medication
How's your
could be something.
How's your relationship with your mom?
My mom is dead.
When did she die? How old were you?
She died about 8 years ago.
Was she an addict?
Excuse me?
Was she an addict or alcoholic?
An alcoholic. She died. She fell down the steps and broke her neck in 4 places.
Do you look at your girlfriend like it might be a memory of your mom? Did you have a bad relationship with your mom?
Well, you may have struck a nerve there. Hey, I don't want to mispronounce his name again. What was it?
Emil?
I'll tell you, the neck breaking seems to be a theme that follows him around. It's not the kind of guy you want to go camping with. It's like the last 4 people I went camping with, they went home in body bags. Don't ever make that sound, Anderson.
Yeah.
It drives me. It hurts.
It's an awful sound.
Yeah, it hurts my feelings. That sound. It just hurts.
Biting on a fork, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just something. It's been a big ball of foil or something. All right, listen. All of you who are angry and are prone to violence and aren't currently committing an act of violence and are calm and are aware you have a problem, now's the time to deal with it. Not when you're getting violent, because you'll see red. And you'll wake up in prison for 100 years. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everybody, you really listen. Here's a good point. If you're a violent person and you're prone to violence and you have a history of violence, and you're having a calm moment and you're aware of your problem, think about your next potential victim. For just a second. Think about the guy who cuts you off on the freeway. You take a tire iron to his head. Think about your next girlfriend. Think about your kid. Think about your brother or sister, whoever it is. Whoever it is you smack next, or you injure or shoot or stab next. Think about that potential person and get some help now, and think about yourself. Because why the hell do you want to go to prison for doing something that you didn't even want to do? I mean, a week later or an hour later. Tricia,
Yes,
you're 25.
correct.
What's up?
I had a comment for STP, and I had to say that I'm really nervous too. The solo album of his, I wanted to know if he was going to perform any of the songs in the solo album he did on their tour.
Scott?
No, those songs were very important, very important to me, but that's a whole different thing. Just like, the record that those guys made, the talk show record, those songs are important to them, but that's not STP. So, no, we won't be doing that. And it's not to say that we don't love those songs that we did on those two respective records, because they're, they chronicle times in our own lives. But, the four of us make STP, and the songs that we will perform are the songs that the four of us have recorded together as a group.
Well, it's a great album.
Thank you very much.
I got so many people, my friends of mine, just to buy it because it's a wonderful album. And I'm a big, big fan. I'm so excited. I'm nervous to talk to you tonight. And I also have a comment. Adam mentioned earlier how when some guys get intoxicated, they mark their territory by urinating like on anything available.
Mm-hmm.
When I was about 19 years old, I went to a party.
Yeah.
And I woke about 2 or 3 in the morning and wandered out to the left because at my home, that's where the bathroom was at. Well, at this apartment, that's where the outdoor patio was at. And I went outside and pulled my pants down and urinated on the lawn furniture.
Well, that's refreshing to hear a woman doing that.
Yeah, and I woke up the next morning.
Where'd you go to finishing school again, Tricia? I missed that.
Fine Manor?
I'm working on that.
I see.
I went to, and the next morning they went outside to smoke, and the girl walks in, one of the girls at the party, and she says, "Did it rain last night?" Yikes.
And if it did rain, we're moving, because that smells like urine.
When did you realize it was what you had done?
We're going to Canada.
I pretty much realized it as soon as I finished doing it. But I didn't really care too much about it at that point. I was probably pretty.
But you have the soul of a man, Tricia. I can hear that. And a mad scientist laugh. Yeah.
But I am a woman, but I'm a huge fan of the Man Show.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God bless
I
you.
record it for my friends who don't have cable. They all
This is the woman that's a fan of the Man Show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gets loaded and pees on things.
Urinates on lawn furniture.
All right, Tricia.
I'm quite the catch, I bet.
Yo, in many ways, I'm sure.
I just want to say I love your
Especially
show.
if you're another woman. All right. Who likes women?
Can I
Yes.
say a real quick hi to the Glendale Rec in in Glendale, Arizona?
No.
They listen to you every night. Everyone there listens to you guys, and we all just love it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Anderson. What is Jesse Ventura? Drew brought that up earlier. Let's see what he had to say about the Man
That show
Show.
on television, the Man Show. Oh, the best.
If
The
you can
best.
take it as a
What
joke.
is it?
What is it?
It's the Man Show. It's
That's what I love about that Jesse Ventura. I'm going to Minnesota and voting for him next election. All right. Should we hear something from Stone Temple
Sure.
Pilots?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Off of number 4, the CD currently out. This one is called Down.
LoveLine with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
1-800-LOVE-191.
We'll be right back.
To make this commercial more believable, I'm joined today by several real, I stress real, Geico Auto Insurance customers. Warren Foster, Karen Ellis, and Robin Kaspar. I wish we had time to talk, but this is a 30-second radio commercial. So, people, if you saved money with Geico, just nod your heads. And they're nodding. You could join the millions who nod, too. In 15 minutes, you could save 15% or more. Call 1-800-947-AUTO. 1-800-947-AUTO. Geico Direct, the sensible alternative.
Saturday, 1400 hours, Army Reserve exercise. Your unit must locate a new water supply for a small town. In under 2 hours, water from a lake is treated and made safe to drink. On Saturday, you learn to handle pressure in the Army Reserve. So on Monday, it's easy back at college to handle a certain biology professor.
Your answer, please, Miss Perez. The class is waiting.
Plasma, sir.
Excellent.
Serve as little as 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Earn money for college. Visit the Army Reserve at goarmyreserve.com. Paid for by the U.S. Army Reserve.
Hi, I'm Serenity, and these are my friends, Missy and Stephanie.
You know, a lot of things happen to us every day that we have no control over.
But HIV and other sexually transmitted diseases aren't things that just happen to you. You do have a choice.
You can choose to use a condom, have safe sex, and take control of your life.
Asking for a condom isn't stupid. It's smart. It shows that you care about yourself and your partner.
You can do something about sexually transmitted diseases.
Use a condom.
Every partner.
Every time.
We do.
A message brought to you by Wicked Pictures and AIDS Project Los Angeles.
Oh, come on, have a drink.
No thanks.
Just one little drink.
I don't want to.
Chicken, everyone else is.
I said no.
What a nerd. One little drink won't kill you.
You've heard it all before. Be cool, join the crowd, have a drink even though you're not 21.
Let's go, she's no fun.
Make the right choice. Don't give in. Underage drinking is dumb and dangerous.
Look out!
A public service message from the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Somewhere in our community is a mother whose drug abuse once left her unable to care for her kids. There's a father, too, whose alcohol use drove his wife and children away. There's a boyfriend whose drug use frightened his girlfriend into giving him an ultimatum: get help or I'm gone. Help is available. It's in the form of treatment programs for drug abuse and alcohol problems, and the good news is that these programs are making a big difference in people's lives. With proper treatment, mothers and fathers, sweethearts and coworkers, friends and neighbors are overcoming drug and alcohol problems and reclaiming their lives. Isn't it great that treatment works? To find out about drug and alcohol treatment programs that can help, call 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-HELP. There is help, and it works. A public service of this station and the Center for Substance Abuse Treatment.
Dad, I don't think our campfire's totally out.
Are you kidding me? I know when a campfire's out.
Did you drown the fire with water and stir it with a stick?
No, it's out. We don't have to... Who said that?
Frank, it's a talking moose with sunglasses.
And a bunch of singing and dancing forest animals.
We know we can count on you to do what Smokey says.
And when your folks desire to build a fire,
hot, hot.
Clear brush and branches away. And keep water nearby like you oughta.
Okay, I poured water on the fire. I stirred it with a stick. Everybody walked slowly toward the RV.
Dad, these are just Smokey's friends.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Frank, it's Smokey.
Nice hat, Smokey. Want the rest of my peanut butter sandwich?
Dad!
Visit Smokey at www.smokeybear.com. Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, the National Association of State Foresters, and the Ad Council.
Yep.
You could get a hold of something.
It
I'm dying to
is.
take my kids again.
Drew, why don't you go yourself and have fun?
No, the boys are just bugging me. They're what kind of dad are you? You can't just.
I'll introduce them to my dad. Don't worry, they'll understand what kind of dad you are. Please.
Oh, he won the Laker game.
It is LoveLine. Scott and Robert are both here from the Stone Temple Pilots. Number 4 is the name of the CD, and phone number 1-800-LVE-191. And what did Ann say about Sofia Coppola tomorrow night? Oh, she did that.
Yo no say.
She did that
There's
touchdown.
thumbs up in there.
Oh, thumbs up.
Oh, I see.
She's coming.
No.
No. I know.
Hey, Drew. I want to go to the track with you one day and see what horse you bet on, so I can
do the opposite.
Bet on any other horse but that horse.
That's good.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'd like you to bet on 7 or 8 horses, so we could just narrow it down to 2 or 3 for me to bet on. Could you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, because you're always 100% wrong. Lee?
Yeah.
You're 25.
Yeah.
What's up?
Hi, I wanted to say hi to STP there.
Hey, man, how are you?
I wish I could discuss guitar with Robert all night long, but since this is LoveLine, I better get to my drug question. I wanted to ask Scott, I've been to rehab 3 times, and I can't seem to get with the program, and basically my problem is I'm not a people person, and I really don't give an ass about anybody but myself, and I figured I'd ask Scott if he can give me some pointers, because if anybody doesn't give an ass either, it's probably Scott.
Well, I don't know. I can just tell you from my experience. You're having a hard time getting clean. You're going to rehab and you're having a hard time staying clean.
From what I understand, you got to be willing to be a people person.
No, not at all, actually, because you don't have to
get into all that.
Not really at all. The only thing that you have to do is sort of just become open-minded and willing to take some suggestions. And it doesn't have to be from a crowd of people. It just has to be from maybe a couple people who you relate to. That's why they suggest going to meetings and not just forming an opinion based on your first meeting, your first few meetings going, trying a few different ones until you meet some people that are kind of like yourself. And if your life gets bad enough, trust me, if you start doing some jail terms and you start losing important relationships, having failed marriages, then you might start to be a little bit more open-minded about, maybe kind of listening to some of the stories that these people have. For me, I wasn't able to, get clean and stay clean, and it's still, I don't even have a year yet. I've got over 10 months now, but the reason why is because I want to be clean now. I've had every reason pointed out the fact that I needed to be clean. I mean, that evidence was there that I needed to be, but I really wasn't willing to. I really didn't want to. My life hadn't gotten to the point where I accumulated enough negative consequences where I really could not stand living that way any longer. And you know what? Once your life starts,
deal because I see it coming. I see myself losing my job.
What's your drug? What's your choice?
Oh, I stick with weed mostly, but if I did anything harder, I'd probably be dead by now. But, I get around to whatever's available, but weed's my drug of choice. I mean, that's a daily deal.
All right, but so you're not at the point where you haven't bottomed out yet.
Right, yeah, and I see it coming, but I just don't want to get there.
It's really interesting. You bring up an issue that I've struggled with people for a long time, which I think you can summarize by asking the question, how do you give somebody get it? How do you get somebody to get it, that they need to get it, that they need to get with it, they need to follow directions? How do you give somebody that?
Yeah.
And so far, there's no one that's able to give somebody that.
Okay, well, I've pretty much knew the answer before I called. I just want to say hi to Scott and Robert. Really big.
And by the way, I don't believe you're not a people person. You may not like groups of people, you may not like a lot of different kinds of people, but the connection you can form with somebody will be important to you.
Yeah, man, if you want to get clean, you want to do it for yourself, not because of other people, or, you got to want to do it for yourself, like Scott said.
All right, Lee, good luck. Jennifer.
Yes.
You're 21.
Hi, Drew.
Hey, Jennifer.
Yeah, you probably remember me from the hospital.
Which Jennifer?
Oh my! I remember her voice from Los Encinas.
Yes.
She was the crazy one that was like sneaking drugs in there and getting loaded, and you kept on putting her back on, early status.
I've been in rehab 40 times. I just got out of a long-term TC.
Okay.
And
long-term what?
Therapeutic community.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Where I went after I detoxed, and I'm manic depressive, and I got in an episode, and I tried to hurt myself. And they put me in the hospital, and they strapped me down, and they shot me up with Ativan. And ever since then, it's like...
You're on heroin right now, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
You're not?
No, they shot me up with Ativan, and that was my drug of choice. And I didn't like the feeling of it, and I started to use a lot of it, and so then I got my hands on Ritalin and have been having a problem with that. And my good counselor wants to put me back in treatment, and I'm scared to go.
Why?
I'm tired of treatment. I don't feel like it works. I get my life together, and then the manic depression kicks in, and then I'm back on drugs.
Well.
And so Drew, I've become anorexic. Basically, I have the tendencies. I was really heavy, and I'm like a size 14 now, and I'm not eating much, and I went to a doctor and got a 3-month script of speed.
Okay. Listen, Jennifer, all I hear now is desperation and confusion. I know you feel better when you get clean, when you're in a structured environment, when you're around people that care about you. And I know that you regain meaning, you regain a sense of yourself.
Right.
And it doesn't feel so bad, doesn't look so hopeless when you're in a different place. And I
But
know
then
you
the manic depression kicked in, and I wanted.
I understand it's there now, and I understand that needs to be managed also. But you got to get with it. You got to get back. You need to be in a structured environment. You've got people that care about you.
Yeah, my counselor wanted to come over to my apartment and throw away my pills, and I told him I was going to. And
well, I don't know that that's right necessarily. That's sort of a boundary issue, but certainly you ought to get somewhere where you can be cared for properly.
It says on the screen she's pregnant by a drug counselor. Wasn't you, was it, Drew?
No, I'm not a drug counselor.
Well, sometimes if they can't pay,
and,
Drew. Jennifer?
Yeah.
Are you pregnant?
I don't think I am right now.
All right.
I thought I was, and
when you called in?
Yeah. Well, no. I didn't. They weren't sure because I kept having positive tests, but then the ultrasound was inconclusive.
Huh.
Oh, baby. Hey, why?
The guy said that he cared about me, and then he sent me an email saying that if I didn't give him certain sexual favors, that I couldn't be his woman anymore.
All right. Well, listen. Hey, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Don't worry about relationships at this particular point in your life. I mean, you worry about getting better.
Right.
And
I've been trying to get off the Ativan, and I have withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah. Listen, you have tough withdrawal, and you need to be somewhere when you do that.
All right. So, Drew, is this a patient you've seen before, or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And Scott, have you seen her running around the halls?
I was in rehab with her before when Drew treated us both.
Oh my God! And you just remember her name or her voice?
No, I remember her voice totally. I know exactly what she looks like.
And
she was actually having people sneak drugs into her at the place that we were at. I remember.
Drew, how do some people get, do drugs with a vengeance? Do you know what I mean? I mean, do you have to be the product of some kind of abuse?
No.
I did drugs with a vengeance.
Scott was amongst the best.
Yeah. Really?
Oh yeah.
That's delightful. I mean, I know people have drug problems, and there's people like OD, and there's some people that do it like a drive, like it's like a salmon going upstream kind of drive. You know?
After a while, it's kind of like you just have a feeling that it's coming to a really bad end, and it's almost becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you just want to hit that wall as fast as you possibly can. So you just almost like you purposely accelerate the process to either end it all or at least get to a point where you're going to have to force yourself to quit or get help. But
Right.
this girl, though, I know her. Drew knows her. I really would suggest that she go somewhere, like Drew said, and get medically detoxed, and then go to a long-term treatment place like either Impact House or Cry Help, because she's got a lot of issues to deal with.
Obviously, she's saying the manic depression, kicks in. She's obviously using the drugs to replace something that isn't there, or she wants to be there. So what is the source of her manic depression?
It's hard to tell until she gets clean for a while.
But she has a brain injury, and that she needs to be on. She has had to be on lots of medicines to stabilize that, and that's one of her problems. Is her manic depressive is so awful. She just decompensates really easily.
Jim.
Yeah?
You're 14.
Hey.
What's up?
I wanted to ask STP a question.
Sure, man.
I was wondering where you got Sarah Michelle Gellar from.
I found her in a cereal box.
Is that a milk carton or something?
You know what? We're all fans of the show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and the Cruel Intentions movie I thought was really kind of fun. And you know what? When I was in jail, that was one of the 3 TV shows that I was able to lobby the guys, around for votes and watch. That Ally McBeal and the X-Files. And for good reason. 2 of those shows happen to have, good-looking girls, Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Ally McBeal. Actually, Gillian Anderson's good-looking too.
Well, listen, when you're incarcerated, you could probably squeeze one off to one of the male attorneys in the Ally McBeal series.
But you know what? She was. We're fans of hers, and we asked her if she would be interested, and she said she was, that she would definitely do it, and she was a huge fan of the band, and it was a lot of fun. She was very sweet and very professional.
All right, Jim.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right.
Hey, how does that work with the TV privileges when you're in the clink?
What happens is. At 7 o'clock at night is when free time begins. You have free time between 7 and 10. And this is in the BRC program. That's that treatment sort of facility. And you vote on the shows. There's a guy his job is the TV monitor. Everyone has a job there, and there's the TV monitor, so it's like, okay, vote time. Everyone goes in who wants to watch TV. You can't go in and vote if you're going to leave the room.
I'm thinking of that scene in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Right.
It's kind of like that.
What I
It's
mean?
kinda
Big
like
Indian picks up the drinking fountain. You guys make a break for it.
We had a guy in that was like that, actually. His nickname was Tiny. He was a giant Mexican young man. Daniel, his name was. And we'd play basketball on the weekends. So
Called him
he
Chief.
really, exactly. And
You did?
Yeah, we did. And he was not very
Was this
coordinated.
joking?
He was a huge man, about 6'6", 290 pounds. But when he would stand underneath the basket, he could get just about every rebound. And if you threw him the ball, he could just kind of like toss it in.
Just like
exactly.
mom and grandma were talking about, but he couldn't hit the free throw.
Could
and
not.
so they would intentionally foul him,
Yep.
send him to the line, and cash in. But now,
Hack-a-chief.
So so there's one TV, right?
One TV, and you vote every after the end of every show. You vote again for the next show.
And do you have to register to vote, or can you just get to vote?
It's the motor voter.
And they so you vote anyone who's interested in watching TV during that free time. And is it now what happens at 10 o'clock? Is it lights out?
It's lights out, and I have to say that there's this. It wasn't so bad when Officer Escamilla worked. Officer Escamilla was about a 5'2", very pretty Mexican young woman, and very sure of herself, though, not at all intimidated in a dorm full of 60 guys. But she was quite nice to look at, and so everyone kind of looked forward to the nights when she worked, and she would say lights out and go around with the flashlight, do her rounds, and you'd see all the guys kind of like trying to get one last look before the lights went out, and then they would go about their personal business.
Right. But now, and what time was wake up time?
5:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like being in the military.
It was exactly. You've seen the movie Full Metal Jacket, right?
Yes.
That's what the barracks looked like. It's over in East LA. It used to be an internment camp for Japanese, they put Japanese Americans in these internment camps during the war, and that's what it was. They were like army-style barracks with the bunks on each side.
Was it that corrugated tin with the rounded roof like Gomer Pyle lived in?
Similar kind of thing.
Kwanzaa hut.
Awesome.
It's a Kwanzaa.
Yeah. I gotta get. There's so many questions I have about this, but I just gotta say I saw like a Gomer Pyle at 4 a.m. the other day, and here's basically it. I just turned it on. I don't know if I was drunk or stoned. I don't know what kind of condition I was in, but I turned it on. There's Gomer standing at the MP gate, at the guard gate at the front, and here comes Sergeant Carter with his girlfriend Bunny coming in after a date, and it's like, "Halt, Sergeant Carter," and it's like, "Yeah, Pyle." I was told by you not to let anyone pass this gate. And like, Pyle, get out of the way. Sorry, you can't do it. And I thought that whole thing was a comedy premise back in the 60s, which is you told me not to let anybody in this gate. Now you're telling me to let you in, and I won't let you in because you told me.
Right.
And, you know, there's that big speech where it was like, Pyle, I don't care who gives you a story. I don't care if the Prince of Monaco comes through here. You do not let a soul through this gate. You got that, Pyle? Yes, sir, Sergeant Carter. Fast forward to Sergeant Carter trying to come through the gate, not letting him in.
And he has to have screwed it up twice before he gets that speech.
Right. And that was good for a half-hour episode of comedy there. Sergeant Carter trying to get by the gate. But we're going to take ourselves a break. When we come back, I'm interested in sort of the schedule here and the votes and in the food.
Food. That's a whole other. We need a whole segment for that.
All right. Well, we'll do a quick abridged version of the food. Stone Temple Pilots are here. We'll take a little break.
Let's just say we ate something called Dirk Diggler.
After this.
Back once again with it.
LoveLine. LoveLine with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. We'll be right back before you know it.
This is a story about American heroes. They changed quite a few lives last year. Jorge Vasquez put out fires, but no, he's not a firefighter. Philip Dale discovered several new stars. Oh, he's not an astronomer. And Elaine Capobianco, she saved a child from drowning, but she's not a lifeguard. They're teachers, but to the kids they've reached, they're heroes.
I'm a teacher. The children are the heroes.
We're not just teaching subject matter, we're teaching human beings.
I am tough as nails, but they know that I love them.
I mean, we've got a legacy that follows behind us forever.
Teachers have the power to make an impact on our future. California will need about 250,000 more of them in the next 10 years. Reach for that power. Teach. Call 1-888-CAL-TEACH now. A public service message brought to you by CalTeach, the Ad Council, and this station.
Okay, so I'm a teenager, right? And everyone's so quick to judge me. On the outside, I may look like... But on the inside, I'm all... Just because I look like... doesn't mean I act that way. In fact, I'm actually involved in crime prevention. That sounds more like this. It's really a great way to convince adults that while you may be looking, you're really thinking.
Call 1-800-722-TEENS to find out how to make your community a safer place for everyone. Get involved, get the number, and call 1-800-722-TEENS. A public service message from the Crime Prevention Coalition of America, the U.S. Department of Justice, and the Ad Council.
Evening, folks. I'm Vince.
And I'm Larry. We're the Crash Test Dummies.
We'd like to entertain you with a little song. Only one thing.
We can't sing, but we're here with someone who can, with a song for the little ones. Ray?
Mr. Charles?
On the big highway of life, there's only one safe place for kids.
Backseat, baby.
The front seat's not the place to drop out. Put that booties in the backseat.
Backseat, baby.
Airbags and kids should never meet. I'm here to remind you to put them behind you.
Raymundo, do you mind if we try?
Oh, look at here.
Backseat, baby, better buckled in the back.
Backseat, baby.
Baby faces stay intact.
Larry, Larry, maybe you should keep your day job.
Ow, that hurts.
Not as much as our day job.
Backseat, baby.
To stay alive even when I drive.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your kids in the back seat. A message from the Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Dear Jim, I just wanted to tell you the things I love so much about you. Like your pasty white belly and how it fits in those tight shirts that my friends think you shouldn't be wearing. I love how you do that thing where you mash 4 slices of bread into a massive ball of dough and stuff it in your mouth. That's so adorable. And what about when you tell those same jokes from reruns that you've seen over and over again? They make me laugh every single time. Other guys play sports or go running or do something outside, but not you. You're different.
Guys, rest assured you will never in your life meet a girl like this.
P.S. I can't wait until we cuddle in front of pro wrestling all day this Saturday. I hear it's a steel cage Texas death match.
Get some exercise. Get up. Get out. A public service message brought to you by the Ad Council and the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports.
All right, finishing a quick story I was telling off the air. You guys are going to have to suffer through it. So we're at the the cigarette machine at the Ramada in Houston.
Hyatt.
Anyway, feeding $8 worth of quarters, which is like 800 quarters. I'm too short. The chick shorts me too. Now I'm scared to leave the machine because I have my life savings in the machine, and I'm scared some guy's going to wander up and hit the jackpot. So but no one's around, so I'm now running around looking for change. I don't have any money. And you know what's really funny? And you know what's interesting I find about life, which is I'm sitting this story. If you're listening, just listen and shut up, would you? I don't want to tell the beginning of this story, but I'm sitting at the airport bar in LA at LAX. I get there early, and I decide I'm going to have myself a Bloody Mary, as tradition would have it, Drew, because after all, it was a weekday. And we're getting on the plane.
And you weren't loaded yet.
And I thought, I'm going to have myself a Bloody Mary. And I sat at the bar, and I ordered a Bloody Mary, and the Bloody Mary was like $3.50, and I gave the guy $5, and he gave me $1.50 back, and I looked at the 2 quarters and the dollar, and I slid the dollar to him, and then I stared at the 2 quarters, and I thought to myself, what the hell am I going to do with these 2 quarters? I'm wearing sweatpants. I'm going to drag them to Houston. They're going to fall out of my pocket, or they're going to get wedged up my ass when I fall asleep on the plane. Forget it. And I slid him the 2 quarters, too. Fast forward 6 hours later, I'm standing in front of a vending machine in Houston, 2 quarters short, going, where are those 2 quarters?
Cursing yourself.
So now I got the...
Why'd I have to be a nice person?
I got the machine staked down. I'm thinking, I don't want to leave. I run, I go, and I get a couple of quarters. I feed those, and I get my pack of cigarettes. I go walking through the thing, and I think to myself, wait a minute. Now I'm walking to my room. I'm walking down a long hall. I get to the elevator, and I stop. I pass a little gift store with breath mints and stuff like that, and I think to myself, hold on a second. I walk into that store, and I go, you sell cigarettes? The guy goes, what kind you want? I go, son of a bitch. I'll kill her.
Could have just put him on your room.
Could have just pointed in the direction that I was heading in the first place, but had to go the other direction and to the vending machine, everybody. That's why we need to pay everyone more. We really, or kill them. All right. I went nuts. And then there's a fire drill 5 a.m. that morning. And Angelica?
Hi, Adam.
You're 23.
Yes.
What's up?
Well, first I just want to say hey to Robert and Steve, Robert and Scott, I'm sorry.
That's better.
Steve Austin.
I'm a pretty big fan. Hopefully you guys will be coming to Seattle. I can go see you.
Absolutely.
We will be there.
Yeah,
I'll get it.
Sorry, Drew. Go ahead.
I saw you guys the last time you guys were in Seattle. Awesome show.
Thank
September 22nd.
I will be there.
The Key Arena.
Oh, awesome. Okay, here's my situation. Ever since I was a little girl, I've had my pillow, which I've taken everywhere with me, like to my grandparents' house or if I go on vacation. I can't let go of it. And my husband, who I've been married to for 1.5 years, just doesn't understand it. And I think he's starting to get to the point where he's getting very irritated with the whole situation because if I'm watching TV with him, I have to have my pillow. If I'm in bed, I can't go to sleep until I have my pillow with me. And I don't know if it's like a security blanket and I just can't let it go or...
Well, it's called a transition object. There's a stage in development when kids will develop a very strong attachment to an inanimate object, a doll or a blanket or a pillow. And the fact that you haven't moved through that stage says something about your emotional development.
What kind of shape is that pillow in after?
Oh, it's in horrible shape. I haven't even changed the pillowcase. It's in the same pillowcase.
I got to tell you, 1 week, my maid comes to my house every Monday. 1 week on my pillowcase. By the time it gets down to the 6th or 7th day, that is not in good shape.
Well, the drool, the semen.
There's been drool. There's been dry humped. Oftentimes gang raped by bikers. I had some bikers that raped my pillow last weekend. to turn a hose on him to get him off that. What kind of shape could that pillow be in after 20-something years?
I don't use it for my head. I have to hold it. I have to have it in my arms.
All right, but it's something about your development.
And it sounds fairly cute and benign, but it means you're whacked.
No, I am embarrassed. Nobody really outside of my family knows about it. I am embarrassed about it.
It's something you should read about. It's called a transition object. It was first written about by actually a pediatrician who sort of talked about these sorts of. His name is Winnicott. And it's a very significant sign.
Does your husband ever do anything to it? I mean,
he washes it every now and then. I came home and I wanted to sit down with it, and it was in the wash, and I was almost crying. I was so upset.
Did you lose somebody when you were like 4 years old?
I had a very hard childhood.
Oh yeah.
And that was pretty much my only security that I had. My parents were very they weren't the best parents that I could have had, and
what'd they do to you?
Well, first, my parents were very religious. I was brought up as a Jehovah's Witness, and I was not into the religion. My dad was one of the top elders in the congregation, and it was pretty much forced down my throat, and I was a very rebellious child. So I got really bad into drugs, and I got really bad into having sex, and I got hurt really bad by somebody, and I don't enjoy sex now. It's another problem that I have with my husband.
Why don't you get some treatment, okay?
Yeah, bring you and your pillow go into a shrink's office, would you?
Well, plenty of reason to get some help, okay? You got a lot of trauma going on there. And if you really want things to improve with your relationship, it's not about the pillow. It's about what's going on in your head.
My sister had a Huggy blanket that I used to like hold hostage.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like you get hold of their Huggy blanket and they're like, aha! And you hold it like over a match or something.
They go nuts.
I used to slam it in the door. You know, I'd like wrestle a thing to the ground. Once then the blanket like turned on me and got the better of me for a little while. But then I got rolled over and got on the blanket. But I mean, I beat the ass out of that blanket and she would just scream with horror. It was great. Never, don't let your kids find out that the other kid knows about their transitional object because they'll abduct it and torture it. Send little pieces of it back through the mail and stuff.
So can the transitional object be a number of different things?
It's usually blankets, pillows, or dolls.
Mary's got one. She has a blanket. She's had it since she was a little kid. I think the other day I was watching a Laker game and she went to go try to take a nap in the bedroom. She comes back in there. I'm all comfortable. I've got it on me. She grabs it and rips it off me.
That's like you're cheating with her transitional object.
It's a normal thing for kids to go through, but they go through it.
Yeah.
My newest transitional object is the VCR
penis.
remote.
It's your
It's connected. Yeah, you're right. It's a close second. All right, we're going to take a little break. We'll be back.
What's up?
LoveLine will be right back.
Remember what college cost in the early 80s?
Tuition?
Yeah, books, typewriter, room and board.
Well, yeah, a bundle.
Was it worth it?
Well, of course. Every penny.
And get this, now it's over twice what you paid.
Well, yeah, but I don't have to worry about my kids' college bills for another 15 years.
Well, if costs keep hiking up and up, you'll be shelling out more in just 1 year for each of your children than you spent on yourself for all 4 years of college.
Ouch! So what do I do?
You better start saving today with U.S. savings bonds. They're easy to buy and afford and are guaranteed safe.
Yeah?
And savings bonds earn a treasury-based rate of interest right from the start.
Wow. Where do I find them?
At most banks. Or ask your employer about the payroll savings plan. But whatever you do, start saving now, or you'll be...
Rooting for a scholarship?
Exactly.
Take stock in America. U.S. savings bonds.
Mommy, can I have a drink of water?
Remember the last time you changed your motor oil? You let it flow down a storm drain. It found its way into our waters. So did that paint you tossed in the garbage, as well as those fertilizers you might have used a few too many of. If you think your actions have no effect on our waters, think again.
Thank you, Mommy.
You can help preserve our waters, not only for your sake, but for hers. Recycle used motor oil, dispose of paint and household toxins properly, practice composting, and use lawn and garden products sensibly. It's a small price to pay to preserve our greatest natural resource, and the reasons for doing so can be just as small.
Good night, Mommy.
Clean water. If we all do a little, we can do a lot. To find out how to help reclaim our waters, call 1-800-504-8484. That's 1-800-504-8484. Brought to you by the Natural Resources Defense Council, the Ad Council, and the EPA.
Oh, come on, have a drink.
No thanks.
Just one little drink.
I don't want to.
Chicken, everyone else is.
I said no.
What a nerd. One little drink won't kill you.
You've heard it all before. Be cool. Join the crowd. Have a drink, even though you're not 21.
Let's go. She's no fun.
Make the right choice. Don't give in. Underage drinking is dumb and dangerous.
Look out!
A public service message from the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
And now, Vince and Larry, the crash test dummies with a lullaby.
Crumple, crumple, little car. When you crash, it's au revoir.
If on dumb luck you rely, through the windshield they will fly.
Keep your children off the streets. Put your kids in safety seats.
Crumple, crumple, little car. Don't be dummies like we are. Gee, Vince, I'm kind of sleepy now.
Okay, Larry, just crash anywhere.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your kids' safety belts. A message from the Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
McGruff here at the airport with some tips that can help make your traveling safer. Pardon me, sir.
Hey, aren't you,
McGruff, the crime dog.
Yeah, I thought I recognized the pause.
Where do you keep your wallet?
My hip pocket.
Well, look over there at that man at the ticket counter.
So?
The guy behind him in line just bumped him.
Yeah?
And he could have picked his pocket while the man was talking to the ticket agent. Just like someone could have picked yours while you were looking over there.
Oh, gosh.
Put your wallet in your front pants pocket or your briefcase.
Yeah, really, sure.
Another thing, hold on to that laptop computer all the time. Don't put it down. It's too easy for someone to pick it up when you turn your head.
Oh, hey, you're just full of good advice. Thanks, McGruff.
You're welcome. Just remember, keep your wallet in a safe place. Never leave your bags or valuables unattended, even for a minute. Do that and you'll be helping take a bite out of crime. You got it. A public service message from me, McGruff, the U.S. Department of Justice, the Crime Prevention Coalition, and the Ad Council.
Dad, can me and Olivia and you take me to the zoo?
Kids need dads when they're babies.
Daddy, can I tell you a secret? I think there's a monster under my bed.
When they're little, when they're teens, when they're young adults.
Dad, all my friends stay out till midnight.
But sadly, most kids don't have a dad to rely on.
Dad, I met the most amazing person the other day, and I was just wondering, how did you know that Mom was the one?
Because most dads spend less than 10 minutes a day with their kids.
Dad, should I invest in a CD or a mutual fund? And what do you think?
Being a dad is real simple. All it takes is time, and it takes a man to be a dad. Call 1-800-790-DADS for free, helpful information. A message from the National Fatherhood Initiative and the Ad Council.
Yep. All right. It is LoveLine, and that is LoveLine. I want to thank Scott and Robert for both coming in here from Stone Temple Pilots.
Thanks for having us.
It was nice to finally have you.
I beg your pardon.
I mean that.
How dare you?
How dare you? It really was. I really I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know the band, but that was some years ago, and I really didn't know what to expect, and I was really delighted. I thought your candor was great, and
he's gushing, you guys.
We had
sort of scaring me.
No, I really I'd been thinking about it, and I just hadn't on the drive in, and it just you guys turned out to be great guys, and it was
thanks.
Nice of you to come in, and we'd like you when you're on tour with the Peppers or Fishbone or whoever through the summer, definitely come back.
Love to come back.
Love to.
All right, until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Dr. Drews saying mahalo.
Okay, well, I'm having anal sex with my boyfriend, and I don't want to. He wants to go all the way with me.
Well, now. This has been LoveLine. The stuff expressed on LoveLine is not necessarily the stuff of the staff, management, sponsors, or anyone else, including Westwood One Entertainment. LoveLine is produced by Ann Wilkins Ingold. Now, please enjoy these birds.